Good day viewers, welcome to another episode of Regional Review. I am your host Tunohole Mungaba, and this show is the Friday Regional Recap where we look at what transpired in all four corners of the country. I will be your host for today's episode, and before you touch that dial, please stay tuned and we will dive right into the news segment. Before we get into our new segment, today, the 27th of May, is also known as World Sunscreen Day. As a skincare enthusiast myself, I know that your skincare routine, especially your daytime skincare routine, is not complete without finishing off with sunscreen. Sunscreen helps to protect our skins from the harmful UV rays, and it also helps with assisting with hyperpigmentation and all sorts of discoloration that we may experience on your face. So the next time you wash your face and you're ready to step out for the day, please make sure that you apply sunscreen to ensure that you protect yourself. So please watch this promo video that NMH has prepared for you. For our first news segment, which is brought to us by Monique Adams, who is our regional correspondent in the South, she tells us that on Friday, the 20th of May 2022, the Schwartzen House Guest House in Keetmanshoop hosted a Cheeseboard and Wine event to go back in time and speak about the past, the present, and the future of Keetmanshoop. Kurt Johansson, who was the mayor back in the day, shared stories about the town and expressed his disappointment on how Keetmanshoop looks now compared to the past. Here's Monique Adams with more.
Next up, the Schützenhauser Guest House here in Keetmanshoop hosted a Cheeseboard and Wine event last week, Friday the 20th of May, to speak about the past of Keetmanshoop, its present and its future. So this is what took place.
Ons moes 'n groot dans gehad in die skousaal. En die direkteur van onderwys was daar en toe ewe skielik toe sê Pieter, "Goed, nou wanneer begin ons dans?" Ek sê, "Nee. Jy kan nie nou dans nie. Ons kan nie dans nie. Die direkteur is 'n dopper. En jy weet die doppers dans mos nie. Of althans hulle dans deesdae, maar jy mag dit net nie geniet nie. Né? En toe ewe skielik staan PK op en hy sê, waar's die orkes? Daai tyd staan die direkteur van onderwys op en sê, totsiens. So het ons van die direkteur ontslaag geraak en ons het gedans. So het ons aangegaan as ons van die hotelle. Ek gaan nie van die Schützenhaus praat, dit is Ingo se departement. Maar ons het groot dinge hier gehad. As ek net van die kommando, deur 'n tragiese ongeluk, waarna die klein monument voor die stasie, het die kommando, dit gebeur nie altyd, laat die kommando die erevryheid van Keetmanshoop kan kry.
By die dorp van die raad van polisie, as ons so bevoorrecht kan wees. En wie weet, miskien moet het daarvan nog, as het wel niet wat van de jaren op, dus nou misschien hier de eerste functie om dit nog bij je te brengen. Ik vertrouw, en ik wil vertrouwen dat die shitsnaams ook nog de volgende paar jaar wel hier zal wees in Fidel.
For our second news segment, which is brought to us by Enzo Amwele, our regional correspondent in the Njupa region, he tells us that B2Gold Namibia has sponsored over 200,000 for the construction of a vaccination center in Otavi. The old vaccination center was a garage which was meant for the ambulances. The completion of the center comes right in time as the COVID-19 cases are rising and we are experiencing our fifth wave. Here is Enzo Amwele with more.
B2Gold Namibia has sponsored over 200,000 for the construction of the Otavi Vaccination Centre. According to the Regional Health Director, Gabriel Timotheus, he says that usually all COVID-19 issues were attended to in a garage that was meant for the ambulance. He also urged the public to adhere to COVID-19 health regulations as cases are rising.
The vaccination centre, and sitting and thinking back that, you know, it was mere 2 years ago that COVID made its entry into society. And if you think back when COVID was announced, a lot of people didn't believe it. They said it's a myth, it's just a flu, a very severe case of the flu, and very few people want to pay attention to it. And as time went by, it got closer and closer to everybody. And as it got closer to the persons who you cared for, you started believing in COVID. You started taking the actions to prevent it. And so time has passed and a vaccination was developed, and very similar with the vaccinations. Excuse me. Very similar with vaccinations. When the vaccinations entered the market, people said, no, it won't help, it's a myth, and just did not want to go. But as time went by, people started to believe in the vaccinations. And it was on that premise that vaccination centres were established. And a bit of background to this vaccination centre, and I'm just taking a step back to last year around about this time, when B2Gold started talking about setting up or assisting the Otavi Town Council with getting a vaccination centre set up here. We first had a look at 2 houses, but the houses were a bit too far out of town. And it was a problem getting the vaccinations there, people had to travel, so it was inconvenient. And we all know life is about convenience at times. And it was on that premise that we decided to donate this prefab building and set up a vaccination centre in the heart of the town where people can come. It's easier for people to get to, it's easier for the nurses to get to, and as well as the vaccinations. So we all encourage people to go for the vaccinations. And because it's convenient, we're hoping people will now come here. We've seen it in Ochivarongo, their vaccination centres in the town, and people line up to go there for vaccinations. We set up a vaccination centre on the mine, and since we've set it up, a lot of people have gone for their vaccinations, and it's because it's right there. So hopefully the word will spread, and people will start using the vaccination centre, and it's on that I'd like to hand it over, and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, nothing is more important to our council than to bring services to the masses, to our people. That is what we have pledged, and we have committed ourselves to bring services to our people. The inauguration of this center establishes a strategic partnership between the Council, B2Gold Namibia, Njupa Regional Council, Otavi Constituency, and the Ministry of Health and Social Services, just to mention but a few. My sincere thanks goes to the Namibian government and B2Gold Namibia, in particular for its steadfast, continuous support in this important endeavor, and we look forward to a long and fruitful partnership. Community development is when community members take ownership of their challenges, and then they hold hands and they look for solutions of how to address these challenges. When we, as different stakeholders and as a community, come together and hold hands to look for solutions for our community, that's where our community will be developed.
And for our last news segment, our story is brought to us by myself, Tunohole Mungaba, who covered the media conference by the All People's Party, which is also known as APP. The acting president of the party, Eraste Shumba, has condemned the arrest of the Chinatown 8 and has asked the Namibian government to continue to protect their Namibian people the same way they are busy protecting Chinese entrepreneurs. Please watch the story for more, brought to you by Tunohole Mungaba.
They are now only concentrating on the Namibian, who are also trying to make ends meet for their family and so on. But now our concern, we are not saying the country must be ungovernable. We are not supporting anybody who take law on their hands. But what we are saying here is that NAMRA must also make sure they follow the Chinese, they investigate those Chinese. Yeah, there's also some rumors spreading around that there might be a NAMRA official who are in protecting of the Chinese, and we are very much so shocked. Even if you look like for yesterday, the protection that Tina, the Chinese businesswomen, that got from our police, I was very, very much so shocked. Even our president cannot receive such a protection. So we are so confused. Now, the issue that we are also having is that now if the government is failing to protect the people end up protecting themselves. This is now the reason of the Amsherero and the Nauyoma. That's why they arrested. Because they were trying to protect the people that the government is failing. If the government come up with a measurement to make sure that people are protected, we could not have this kind of misunderstanding and so on. And also, at the same time, we want to call the Ministry of Education to consider bringing the vocation subject as from grade 8. You see our youth learners, most of them who did not know knowledge of doing anything. So now we are proposing at least the Ministry of Education must have this vocational subject. For example, like a mechanic, a carpentry, you mentioned, and others, so that at least the learners who did not make it can able to go in job market after school. Yeah, for now, I think that's all. For now, I hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The other issue that we are bringing across to the face of this nation is that from independence until today, our businesses in Namibia, particularly in the northern area of Namibia, that's over.
Taking a look at the weather from the north to the south, Ongwediva is sunny and hot with temps in the mid-30s. Plenty of sunshine is forecast for Rundu, with temperatures hovering at around the 30-degree mark. Otjiwarongo is sunny and pleasant with daytime temperatures in the high 20s. Mariental is sunny and pleasant at the moment, but will cool by Sunday. Karasburg is sunny and warm at the moment, but will be much cooler as from Sunday with very low nighttime temperatures.
Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us for our final episode of the month of Regional Review. From myself, Tunohole Mungaba, and the rest of the Namibia Media Holding teams, the Regional Review team, it is goodbye. Stay safe. Make sure that you're protected, especially now that the COVID-19 cases are rising. Do your best to get vaccinated and also maintain your social distancing, and have an amazing weekend. It is goodbye.